Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good morning, everyone. You're watching 7 minutes of nonstop local news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Renee Summerhour, and thank you for watching 7 at 7 a.m. for Monday, February 1st. Let's get right to our top stories this morning, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. Even with the global pandemic raging, the business of the Nevada Legislature goes on. The 81st session is getting started today. Review-Journal Capitol Bureau Chief Colton Lockhead tells us more.
And so what's going into the next 4 months, it's going to be the big lift is going to be figure out where do they fill in some of the gaps and some of the cuts that they made last year, especially places to Medicaid, Medicaid reimbursement rates, healthcare, education cuts. We know Democrats are going to push for election changes kind of on the heels of probably expanding some sort of mail-in vote access after the 2020 election. And Republicans we know are going to be pretty ardently opposed to any of those types of changes.
A study says water levels at Lake Mead may get low enough to trigger a federal shortage next year. The Bureau of Reclamation said the lake could end the year below 1,070 feet. If projections in August show the lake level dropping below 1,075 feet, a federal shortage will be declared. An official with the Southern Nevada Water Authority said that would leave the valley with more available water than it consumed last year. Nevertheless, the authority is reminding people to conserve water by fixing leaks and sprinklers and removing unnecessary grass. Now let's take a look at your weather forecast. Weather isn't going to be as exciting as it was last week, but we will see temperatures rise just a bit in the Las Vegas Valley. Your forecasted high for Monday will be about 60 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, with lows in the mid-30s, according to the National Weather Service. For the rest of your week, we'll see an uptick in the temperatures to the mid-60s for your high, until a light cool down takes us to highs in the mid-50s, lows in the mid to upper 30s.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Cassie Soto with this sports update. The Pro Bowl was supposed to take place at Allegiant Stadium this past Sunday, but the NFL opted for a virtual version this year. Here's NFL reporter Adam Hill with more.
Yeah, another big moment for the NFL here in Las Vegas. We thought we'd have the draft. That didn't happen. Now the Pro Bowl was supposed to be here this weekend. That didn't happen. A much more virtual experience for the NFL. They had the highlight battles all week on social media. They're trying to do some cool things for the Pro Bowl, but just doesn't involve Las Vegas at this time. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen soon. The Pro Bowl will be back in Las Vegas. The draft will be back in Las Vegas. Plenty of events will be here in Las Vegas involving the NFL in the next couple of years.
Now here's your Monday sports betting update. The Los Angeles Rams' odds to win Super Bowl 56 dropped over the weekend after they acquired quarterback Matthew Stafford in a trade with the Detroit Lions for quarterback Jared Goff. Following the swap of former #1 overall draft picks, the Westgate Sportsbook dropped the Rams' 2022 Super Bowl odds from 20-1 to 16-1 and lowered LA's odds to win the NFC from 10-1 to 8-1. The Packers are the 5-1 favorites to win the NFC, and the Chiefs are the 5-1 favorites to win the Super Bowl.
In your business news, sponsored by the Vegas Chamber, a local elementary school teacher is getting recognized in a big way. Carrie Roper tells us why. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Renee. Deering Elementary School teacher Mike Lang is being recognized for his innovative technology lessons. He launched a 3-part project with his kindergarten and first grade students remotely that landed Lang the honor of being featured on Apple's website as part of the Apple Distinguished Educators Program, something he talked to us about recently.
Some of the very interesting, quirky insights that a 6-year-old will give you, they'll have you like sit back like, wow, yeah, that is actually true. And that's something that, I think, yeah, perhaps I need to integrate that into how I do my business. So my hope is that they get that level of introspection. I hope also that they start to look at to humanize others as much as they humanize those that maybe were in their circle, and see that despite the fact that there are maybe physical differences or geographic differences or cultural differences, that there is value in people.
Lang also told us he appreciates the Las Vegas Valley for the rich melting pot of cultures and ideas that it is. Renee?
In your health news this morning, protesters forced a COVID vaccination site at Dodger Stadium to shut down temporarily. The Los Angeles Fire Department shut down the entrance Saturday afternoon after it was blocked by anti-vaccination demonstrators. The site of one of the nation's largest reopened after about an hour, and a spokesman for the LA's mayor said no appointments were canceled as a result of the protest. In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the COVID-19 pandemic has not stopped people in the valley from finding a furry friend. Homeward Bound Cat Adoption said a record 892 cats and kittens were adopted through the nonprofit last year. Homeward Bound's executive director said its goal is to help people who are in crisis find new homes for their pets. In your entertainment news, if you need some liquid refreshment before the Super Bowl, the Luxor has an offer just for you. The resort will host its ultimate pregame before the big game bar crawl on Saturday. Guests will get a passport that will entitle them to a signature beverage at 7 Luxor bars, along with discounts and a commemorative gift. For Black History Month, we here at the RJ want to feature history makers and icons from right here in the Valley. In 2019, only 29% of all children's books represented a character of color. That means over 70% of those books featured either white characters or animals. That's why this Las Vegas mother decided to publish a book to give little black girls and little black boys across the country the representation they need. Take a look.
Well, I created Little Black Girl. It was initially just a poem I was writing in my journal about my daughter. And it was really amazing to, go through the process of turning this poem into a book and having my daughter watch it go from like a page in my notebook to books, a bestseller on Amazon. We are missing a huge percentage of children who are just not seeing themselves in literature. And when I put out the Little Black Girl, a lot of the comments I got back were, when are you going to do something for the boys? I won a grant on Good Morning America's Second Act Showdown, and I was able to use that money to help me come out with my second book, Little Black Boy. So I'm really excited about the beginning of my publishing journey.
For more on how you can get your copy, log on to lvrj.com. Well, that's all for today's 7 at 7 a.m. I'm Renee Summerhour. Remember, the Las Vegas Review-Journal brings you 7 at 7, 7 days a week at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. You can also download our free RJ mobile app to get news alerts sent straight to your phone, and you can find us on Roku, Alexa, and more. We hope you'll join us again this evening at 7 at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining us.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by attorney Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update is sponsored by Pro Group Management. You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.